Welcome back, and going back to our top story on the visit of Sultan bin Tariq to India, the state visit. We are joined by our guest, Ambassador Anil Wadhwa, former senior diplomat who served as India's ambassador to Oman. Thank you very much, Ambassador Wadhwa. Now, we see that the two leaders, they reviewed political, security, defense, trade, economic, cultural, and people-to-people ties. I mean, it seems pretty wide and deep. How deep are the ties between India and Oman?
Well, Oman is India's strategic partner. It's an oldest strategic partner in the region and a closest neighbor. It's also a very important integral part of all the important groupings in the region. The GCC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the Arab League, and actually it's its ability to manage rival ideologies and power games in the region makes it vitally important for India. In fact, both India and Oman consider themselves as ambassadors of peace, and they enjoy goodwill across ideologies in the world. And Oman is a gateway for India to West Asia. Also, with the ongoing Israel-Hamas war testing the region and its limits, I think the visit of Oman's Sultan is timely. It's very important for India and for the region.
Indeed, and India and Oman share people-to-people ties that are over 5,000 years old. The Kingdom of Oman has also now a vital role, as you say, in the Gulf region. From the defense point of view and counter-terrorism cooperation point of view, how important is Oman as a partner? India shares defense ties in all the three services. That's the Army, Navy, and Air Force.
Yes, actually, the defense cooperation with Oman, Oman was one of the first countries with whom India started its defense cooperation in the region. And in fact, you rightly said that there are all three wings of the services, which is Army, Navy, and Air Force, with whom India and Oman have bilateral exercises. Also, there is a certain relationship which exists between the services of exchange of equipment, which is not recent. It's quite old, in fact. And even on a small scale, when it started, it's continued. Now we are in a different situation where Oman is actually looking at investments in the Indian defense corridors to see if its needs for its services are fulfilled at much cheaper costs. Because Oman has been buying all its equipment in the past from the Western countries, especially the UK, Italy, etc. And it would be beneficial for Oman to actually diversify and also get into the joint production stage.
Prime Minister Modi says that trade, culture, and common priorities have spanned thousands of years. And now he talks about a bright future to build on a glorious history. In the context of India as a rising power, how do these ties expand? And talk a little bit about the vision, a joint vision. It looks at 10 different points. I mean, I can enumerate them all for you. Maritime cooperation, connectivity, energy security, space, digital payments, health, tourism, hospitality partnership, disaster management, agriculture, food security, and cricket.
These are very carefully chosen points. In fact, I think the joint statement, joint vision statement is really well crafted, because these are exactly the areas where India and Oman can cooperate going forward. We saw an example of this happening in space already, where the relationship has progressed quite fast. Apart from these 8, we also have a very quick progress in the FTA with Oman, which is going to be similar as far as the UAE is concerned. And Oman is quite keen that since the GCC agreement is not going through, that we should be able to follow the same pattern. Now, in all these other fields that have been named in the joint vision statement, all of them, in fact, maritime cooperation and connectivity is very important. That's why it's been put at the top, because Oman in the region is a strategic partner of India. The logistic support that Oman provides today is very important for India. And in energy security, Oman is also developing its green energy, just like India has a vision of developing its green energy. So there again, India and Oman can cooperate quite well. And our digital payment systems, the whole stack of it, will be very appropriate for Oman. In fact, there was there's another agreement signed today, which is very important, which is in the information technology side.
Yes.
And along with that, the digital payment stack would become an important component of the bilateral cooperation. Oman also wants to diversify away from oil, which everybody knows. So therefore, tourism and hospitality become important for Oman. And in the context of what we have signed with Oman in maritime security, disaster management of the region in the region is also very important. Oman frequently has incidences off its coast where India is already cooperating with Oman. How to take it forward and make it more refined is the issue. And the
Yes.
final point about food security and cricket. Well, food security, as you know, Oman has been looking for rice and sugar and wheat security as far as India is concerned for quite some time now, trying to do it on a cooperative basis. And cricket, Oman is an emerging country which is doing
Yes.
very well in cricket, and so it would benefit a lot with cooperation from India.
Indeed. So there's a lot to look forward in the future. But, if we look at Oman being invited to the G20 summit when India was the president as a special invitee, and also throughout the presidency of India, Oman actively participated in about 150 working group meetings. What does it show? I mean, it shows that probably there's a lot of convergence on global agenda, but also looking at India's vision for the global south together.
I think India did very well to invite Oman as one of the 9 countries to the G20. Oman responded to the best of its capacity by sending as many as 9 ministers and attending those 150 working group meetings, even though it's very, very thinly stretched, in terms of its manpower back home. I know that it's for a fact because I served there for 4 years. So it must have required a lot of effort on their part to actually attend those meetings and contribute to the best of their ability. So they made the best use of that opportunity. And I think the contacts that the Omani ministers have made with their counterparts here, plus the officials who have met the Indian officials during those meetings, they will stand us in good stead in the coming years.
Ambassador Anil Wadhwa, thank you very much for joining us and putting this into context, this important visit, the state visit of the Sultan of Oman to India. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. Scientists say this is the most